The 23 pro wins, two-time Arnold Classic champs, two-time silver medals on the Olympia, two-time silver medals on the Rising Phoenix, and 34 IFBB pro cards. Coach of many and many to come, Hyacine Nassir. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Nice to speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Why do you think that people are choosing you as a coach? What makes you special? Did you compete before yourself?
I did, but I was really bad at it, so I can't even try that hard because I don't think I would have been any better. So I just focused on coaching. Uh, Competed like 4 or 5 times, not with good success. So that was not good. Uh, but I started having some good results on coaching, so I chose that path instead of the competing path.
Why do you think people choose you as a coach? What makes you special? What makes you different? Because there are plenty of coaches, and you mostly coach women, right?
Well, that's I don't know. That's a reputation that I got that I was better with women. I don't know if I am. I'm also really good with men, I think. I got some good results with men too. Like this year or even last year, like we had some like a lot of pro cards, some really good placing in the men divisions. Mostly classic and bodybuilding. I have to admit that I'm not really good with men's physique. I still got some decent result in some pro cards, like decent result in pro and pro cards in men's physique, but I don't think I'm the best one to choose for this division. And yeah, in women, I picked really, really fast. I had an athlete in 2019 who qualified for the Olympia, and then got some good results, like a second place in the Arnold Classic when women's physique was still there. So it dragged a lot of interest, I think, from women for this division because there's not a lot of coaches, in for women in bodybuilding and women's physique, and it just kept growing. But on the side, I have some really good men's, some really good classic guys and some really good bodybuilders too, amateur and pros. So I would say that right now is pretty balanced. Like last year, it was really balanced. The previous year, 2023, was pretty balanced in the results, men and women.
Yeah, I'm saying that because, as you said, there are not many coaches that specialize in the bigger categories, so to speak, not only in the bikini. Because do you think that bikini is easier to coach than the divisions like physique, like the figure or the bodybuilding?
I'm like I did all division in women. I put them all. I just think that bikini is a little bit more complicated in the way that you need to find the right balance. And you don't have that problem, let's say, in a women's physical bodybuilding. Like women's physique is just a matter of having the best conditioning and the right proportions without being too big. You can compare that to classic physique in a way. And the bodybuilding division is just about to be the biggest and the leanest on stage. Like it's same thing as men. Of course, proportions, aesthetic, yeah, that works too. Um, from a coaching point of view, I think that it's way more technical. And I don't care what they're gonna say, like bikini coaches, but it's way more technical to prep a woman's physique and a bodybuilding girl, even a figure girl, even a wellness girl than bikini. Like bikini is the easiest division to prep in a woman.
Especially when it comes to, the enhancement and so on, because you have to be really, really careful for those girls to keep
Mm.
going, especially when we add special subs, so to speak, because bikini is not so overdosed, even though we know that it can happen and often happens that
Yeah.
plenty of coaches push the bikini girls to the places that they shouldn't be there. And perhaps because, I mean, you of course have seen loads of protocols. Which are the most silly things that you have seen from the bikini coaches as prescribing to their clients?
The thing is that I don't have like it's been a long time, but I didn't have a lot of bikini coming to me for prep. So I can't really give you any example. Like it's been a long time now. Like I prepped one bikini last year, pro. I think her shape was well, maybe probably the best she ever had, but like as a human, she had some values that were not aligned with mine. Um, so that's how it didn't work out. But yeah, like I don't know, like the most stupid things I saw that I heard at least from bikini, yeah, they use like a lot of anti-estrogen. I still don't understand why. Some of them use a lot of like anabolics too. Like I've seen some bikini like on Masteron and like even harder things than this. I don't think it's needed for this division.
Let's speak overall about female divisions then, because
Hmm?
what I have seen personally is overuse of the diuretics, and loads of coaches just push it
But
to the
it's
boundaries
it
that should not be moved.
it's not just in women division. Diuretic are everywhere. Like it's even in the men division. I'm totally against diuretics. Like I can say that last year I didn't use a single diuretic in any picking. The year before I used it like maybe 2, 3 times out of I don't know how many athletes I had on stage honestly, but like it's a lot. Uh, so I don't understand how I can have people winning pro shows and turning pro without any diuretic, and even placing really high at the Olympia. And some coaches needs to push a stupid amount of diuretic for amateurs who don't even place or pros who don't even place. Like for me, it's a nonsense. There's a problem. Like how can it be so opposite? You know?
Do you think that it's perhaps the matter of the lack of knowledge when it comes to the training and diet, and they want to overcome it with actually thinking that get
Yeah, yeah.
rid of the water can as well get rid of the fat, which
Yeah.
is not going to
I mean,
happen?
the thing is that you're not gonna dry out the fat. That doesn't work. So if you're not peeled, diuretic are not gonna do anything for you. Yeah, it's cool. Your weight is gonna go down. You're gonna see something on the scale, but that's not gonna make you look better. For me, overuse of diuretic is a lack of understanding of diuretic. If you really understand diuretic deep, you also understand how to not use them. Like you learn how to use those process that are used by diuretic with some other ways, and then you can have kind of the same results. And I would say that you can have a much better results because you're more in control of what you're doing without using no diuretic than using diuretic. Like I control the look of the athletes much better with no diuretic than with diuretic. Uh, the diuretic are gonna get you flat. That's something that's gonna happen. You can't fix it. Like some coaches are going to tell you like, yeah, we're going to use this, and this, and I'm going to use some other things to get the fullness back. I don't think it's going to happen. And like, I still don't agree with the diuretic thing. Like, even health wise, every time you're going to push like a great, like a solid amount of diuretic, you're just compromising your future. I'm not even talking about your career on stage. I'm talking about your future, like the last years or last decade or couple of decades of your life. Like, you're going to pay a price at some point. Like you pay a price for steroids anyway. But diuretic for me was the worst thing. Like it shouldn't. I'm not gonna say it should be banned because like it's not tested. But I still think that diuretic should be not used. Like if you're a good coach, for me, you're not using diuretic. That's how I see it. If you're, I would agree. Like maybe in some cases that are still really really rare, it can be useful. I agree with that. Uh, but how can some coaches use diuretic 95% of the time when I use it with me like 2% of the time? How can it be so like how can we be so far from each other?
Because I think that they are using the cookie cutter plans because they're just having some kind of template that they think that it's going to work at everyone the same. Because me and you, we prep people to the shows. And as you said, one guy is going to need it, but most of the people can get lean, especially when it comes to the divisions like not even the divisions to there are loads of competitors and competitions like amateurs one, novice one, beginners one. You probably do not need any kind of diuretics when you are actually dry, but the problem is getting someone dry, and people misconcept getting dry and peeled with
Yeah,
sand in.
like I just had that talk. I sent her like quite a long voicemail to an athlete because she told me, "Oh, my feedback from last show was that I needed to be drier," and I said like, I would agree on the look. It's just a wrong. You're just using the wrong word. Like if on your feedback from the judge told you need to be drier. I disagree with that. You have to be leaner first, and being
Prior means
leaner is
leaner,
gonna
as you
it
said.
yeah, and being leaner is probably gonna fix the dry problem. Probably. Like that's how I think. Like if you're out of shape, like a bit too fat, you look soft.
Yeah,
Like it's
people
just a fact.
accept the thing that, as you said, perhaps some judge tells them you need to be fuller on the upper body. It doesn't mean that you need to push more carbs. You just need to get bigger. You just need off
Yeah,
season to get bigger.
yeah.
That's
And
the point.
that's also something that I tell a lot of time my athletes. They're like, yeah, I could have been fuller. I could have been fuller. And look, you need more muscle. Carbs, there's no amount of carbs that's gonna push the walls. It doesn't work like that. If you're full and if you're not full, it's a 5% difference on your look. Like better or worse. 5%. Those 5% are not gonna get you from third call out to the first one. They're not gonna put you from fifth place to first place. It's not a matter of 5%. This if you need like and I don't like to use kilos or like pounds when I talk about the shape. For me, it means pretty much nothing. But let's say like to put it simple, if you need 10 kilos of muscle on your shape, on your physique, on your structure, it's not because you're gonna push more carbs during picking that you're gonna fix it. You still need an off season or two, like 1 year, 2 years, year and a half, whatever, to put that size on. You need to grow. If you eat more carbs during your peaking, the only thing you're gonna do is spill out. You're not gonna get bigger. You're not gonna build more muscle. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna push the walls.
You recently started working, which, from what I'm really happy about, with Paula Ranta, and she's a perfect
Yeah.
example. She was in the wrong category. She needs to
Mhm.
grow to the bigger category. She just needs a break.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she can have a break. Hello, Paula, if you are watching it, because she really loves competing, and that's gonna be a hard part to make her stop doing it.
But like Paula is a really like she really has a really strong work ethic. She's training twice a day. She's having absolutely no day off. Like I mean, training wise she has now, but I mean like diet wise she's not, she's not gonna ask for a cheat meal. She don't care about that. She loves training. If she could train twice a day, 7 days a week, she would do it. Like she just want to improve. She loves competing, that's true. But what she loves, like beyond competing, is winning. Like stepping on stage to get last call out after all those months of prep she had, after winning a show and getting to the Olympia and coming back the next year and getting last call out. That's not what she wants. Like at some point, even if you love competing, if you keep placing like last, like in that last call out, you just don't want it anymore. So she was for me, like she was a figure at some point, and then she grew out of figure a long time ago. She still could qualify for the Olympia, which is a big achievement. But if from my point of view, if she stays in figure, she might qualify another time, like on the good lineup, if the stars are aligned. But if she goes like, as she's doing, if she switches to women's physique, she's gonna be top five in the world.
Probably
Like,
yes. Watching her structure, yes.
yeah. So that's a big difference. Like, do you want to just qualify sometimes for the Olympia by luck, get some good placing in pro shows, or do you want to be one of the five best athletes in the world in the division?
How do
Like
you,
that's
how
hmm?
to make your athlete, when we live on the era of social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and so on, when we are being all the time judged, how to make your athlete actually stay on the off season and keep doing it when, you know, people are always going to talk about you. They're going to criticize you that you are perhaps a little bit more fluffy, especially when working with women. How to approach the person and really make them, because sometimes coaches have to make their client change their way of thinking.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't want my athletes to compete if I know that they can't potentially place really high on a show or win it. I don't want that. If you're an amateur, I mean, if you're a beginner, you have to compete. You need to like go on stage, experience the process, see how it is. If you just turn pro, you need to make a pro debut. You need to stand against the pro to see where you stand. If you're good enough, you're gonna be like placing high. If you're not, you're gonna place like low. But at least you're gonna know where you stand and you can go back to work. You don't have to do it. Like that first couple shows as an amateur and that first show in a pro, your placing basically doesn't matter. If you get a good one, good for you. But if you get a bad one, go back to work. It's okay. Now, if you're a really experienced pro, or like let's start with the amateur. If you're a really experienced amateur, you had like a good, like I don't know, 5, 6, 10 more shows behind you. If you come to me to work with me, it's to turn pro. There's nothing else. Like I don't want to hear anything else. Like I don't want people to come and say like, yeah, I want to have fun on stage. Okay, it's cool. You have to have fun. You need to enjoy the process. You need to love it, you know? But if you're telling me like I just enjoy the stage, I'm not the right one. Like I prep people so they can win. Like that's the talk I want to have with people. Like, what do you want? I want to win. What do you want? I want to turn pro. I want to qualify for the Olympia. I want to win this, win that. You know, like if it's just like, yeah, I want to have fun, look good on stage, you have some nice pictures. I'm not the coach. Like I'm only gonna talk about winning because that's gonna put some problem during the process of the prep or the off season because you're gonna ask me for cheat meal during prep. And I'm gonna tell you no. We're gonna argue about that, and you're gonna be like, I need to enjoy the process. No, you need to follow your diet so you can be peeled on stage so you can win. So you see, like people, it's just a different mindset. Uh, and it's the same thing with training, and it's even more obvious with training. If you come to me and you tell me like, okay, I want like you send me pictures. Honestly, I'm not gonna care what you like to do in training. I'm gonna send you what you need to do to improve, so you can win on stage, so you can place high and beat people on stage. If at some point you text me and you say like, can we change my routine? I'm getting bored of it. I'm gonna tell you no, it's still working. Like if you keep improving on your routine, on your training routine, I'm gonna tell you keep working, keep going. Like Marco Rose is on the same routine for like almost a year. The guy is just growing. Why did I change? Some intensity, some like things here and there. But the structure of the training is pretty much the same. He's doing the same exact exercise. We just like switch things around. Like we choose to put like some like because the dumbbells are too light now, so we move the barbell press before the dumbbells. Like it's just some small adjustments, so we can keep improving. So if you tell me like I'm bored, I want to do this, like change completely my thing. Okay, then you want fun, you want entertainment. I'm not the right coach. Like it's not for me. Like I'm not for you, at least.
What makes you that kind of person? Were you always so competitive when you were younger?
Like it's more like if I do something, I'm either gonna do it zero or 100%. It's like I I I started this coaching thing honestly totally randomly because I was not gonna do that at the beginning. I was gonna compete just to have an experience and then open my own gym. That was my plan, in 2014. And then I competed once. I didn't like it that much, honestly, because like I like opposition sport, like me against someone, and we can do something about it. I don't like to let people decide for me. And I started coaching. I was like, fuck, I love it. So, like, it's awesome. So I want to keep coaching. And I always said, like, to my friends at that time or like my ex, always told them like, I want to be one of the best in the world, and I will be one day. It still didn't happen, but I get closer. Like with time, it's just get closer. Like I'm like it's like you go up, slowly you go up. And I don't think that you can be really performant at something if you don't aim for the top. Like you aim to be one of the best, whatever. And I don't know, like I just I wanna feel I'm doing something, like something that's gonna be like major, like a big thing. And if I prep someone and I tell him what to eat, so that person is gonna sacrifice the fun he or she could have, her time, money, uh, like a lot of resources to at the end not place, not do anything on stage. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's fair. So for me, if I do something, I want to do it like 100%, and I want the people who I'm working with to have the same kind of mindset.
What
And
make
that's why I get along with some athletes really well because they are like they only think about winning. That's the only thing in their mind, and that's the only thing that I have in mind too. So I get along really well with them. And then there's some of the athletes, it's just not working because we're not on the same mindset. And then they need to go and work with someone.
Yeah, for example, classical queen reminds me of that kind of person that is just balls to the walls. We're going ahead. I've got my goal. I'm
Yeah,
going to get it, and I don't care what it takes to get there. I'm going to
yeah,
get there no matter what. And
yeah. She like Alisa is exactly like this. Like I started with her in 2021, early 2021. When we started talking, she was like, "Okay, I still didn't do my pro debut. I want to do it when I'm ready." I said, "Okay, let's do New York." It was a big show. I mean, was supposed to be a big show, and it was still quite a big show because we had like a couple of Olympians. And she told me, I don't want to say punch it if I don't think that I can win. I was like, okay, perfect, same mindset. She won that show. Then she took a year off because she had to focus on some other things, but she kept working and she told me, okay, I want to do Texas because I want to win it. Like she wanted to win Texas. She gave everything she had to win Texas. She stepped on stage. She looked insane, like improved from the year before. She got second. So, okay, she didn't win, but she had the mindset of winning and she was really close to winning. If she had the mindset of just having fun, how would she place?
I think that you like really then Nick Walker. You must like his mindset because he's as well focused. But I don't know if there is a little bit of game there or is he really straight? Like because last time I've watched the interview with Cutler Cast, and he said something like, "When Derek gets his things right, there is no way I'm beating him or someone who is tall as like Samson and white as Samson." So it's getting to a point where he realizes, I think, that once these guys, get their things together, it's a matter of the genetics, and you can't do anything about genetics. And that's
I,
what's
I thought I
sport.
totally agree. I totally agree with that. There's some limits that you have, everyone has, but that's not something that you can control. It's not in your hands. Only thing you can control is what you're doing. If you do everything 100% the whole time, you're putting more chance on your side to achieve what you want. And like the thought process is more, I'm going to win. If you don't, then you take like it's gonna happen eventually, you know?
Yeah,
But if you
that's the good
but
mindset.
that's yeah, that's a mindset. Obviously, I'm saying that I want to win everything I can and I'm there to win. I didn't win everything. I lost more than I won. Like you told about my tracking record. There's more loss in this tracking record than wins.
Same
Like I
as
just
Michael
posted,
Jordan said, yeah.
yeah. Like I posted more wins than I posted my wins. I'm not gonna. I don't like. Did okay, I placed my second place at the Olympia because this is something. I placed the second place at the Arnold and Rising Phoenix because that's like big shows. Like it's like you had the like top of the world. When you're competing at that level. So getting second place there is still good. But did I place this top three, top five, like nationals thing? No, some coaches do that, and it's good, like it's impressive for some people. I don't want to talk about my loss. Like I know why I lose. Like I work on it, like improve from those things. But that's not something that I want to like. I'm not proud of having people posting like placing top five. Like I mean, I'm proud of them because they work really hard, but I want them to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sometimes I want my athletes to win even more than themselves. Like that's how it happened at some point.
yeah. Terence Raffin, because he's one
Mhm.
of your most known clients, even though you had the second places on the Arnold and so on. Uh, why did he skip the Arnold? Is it because he's firstly opening the gym, but as you said, is it the mindset that because of the circumstances that came to his life as the opening the gym, he's not going to be able to focus 100% and give it his best?
It's like a lot of different circumstances at the same time. Uh, I still think that Terence can win the Olympia. Like I really think it. If you're behind your screen and you think that I'm stupid in saying that, just remember that the guy got second twice. So it's not that stupid. Just remember that there's only four guys before him, so it can happen.
To be honest, arguable he could have been higher.
I have the same opinion, but again, the judges decide. Fine.
Yeah, of course.
I
We
still
respect judges,
like
but that's just
yeah
our opinion.
yeah yeah okay, yeah. Like I still think that until it's undeniable, it's not gonna happen. So that that's why he's not competing because we want to make it undeniable first. Like we want to come next year, like with his best physique ever, bigger where he needs to be bigger. And we have to consider two other things, maybe three, but like there's two that I'm like more concerned about. The first one is that he had a crazy long season last year.
Yes.
He started his prep like in was it June? I think it was June. Like early June. It was like late no, yeah, early June. So early June he started his prep. Then he competed, I think it was 24th of September in Dubai, won Dubai. Pushed it again until what is it called? The muscle, that other one where Logan got second. I don't remember the name of that show. Like a show 2 weeks later, and he won again. Then he did India. I mean, he did the Olympia first. He got
When he
fifth,
won
and then he,
with Franklin.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then he competed again in India 2 weeks after the Olympia, and then
Yeah.
he had to travel because he had like a lot of booking for like a road trip in all Asia, and then he came back to the US. The guy is tired. Like even if physically he's okay because I have his blood work, everything is okay, but mentally, like I want him to have a breakthrough because at some point he's gonna burn out. Like you can't be doing that like 12 months a year, you know. So we need to consider the mental aspect, the physical, like the health and the physical aspect. And we need to consider like, okay, if we jump on the Arnold against the same guys at the Olympia minus Chris Bumstead, can we beat them? Well, realistically, we didn't have any time to make any improvement. So why would we beat them? So
That's
for
the
me,
right mindset. Yeah, that's the right reasoning and right thinking. The way, because you are, as you said, you're putting it point by point. Like, where can we get better since we had no time actually, and we have no time now since we rather take care of his health, take care of his, and take care about his finances since he is opening the gym, which is going to provide him money till the end of his days, which matters a lot. When it comes to the off season, do you think that athletes should be on, as I mean, not on the, subs, but on the regime 24 per
mhm,
7, 365? Or should they have like a time for the vacations, things outside the bodybuilding?
I think there's a time when you need to be 100% on everything, and there's a time when you can like step back a little bit. That's how I think. I think the right moment to step back is right after a show. Like, like a few days you have after a show, you need to like breathe out a little bit and relax, if your season is done. Like if you have to go like back-to-back shows, it's different. I think that in off season you can relax a little bit more, enjoy some more like free meals here and there, without totally like losing control, because like if you get fat, it's not good. Like I didn't post Terence last check-in, but he's fucking lean right now. Like he's still fucking lean. Like he kept like a good diet, I think. Like so that's again like it's really important to start the off season being lean. You don't want to start the off season being like totally fat, like retaining a lot of water with you, like water retention everywhere. Like your insulin sensitivity is totally fucked up. You don't want to start the off season like with this. If you do that, you're just gonna have to first get leaner, then fix your insulin sensitivity, and then you can start. It's a waste of time. So you need to find some time when it's smart to relax a little bit. And I think that it's important for an athlete. I'm not talking about like recreational athletes. I'm talking about like highly professional performing athletes. Like some of like some I have some of them. Like it's like Tiffany. Tiffany is really really extreme. She don't want to rest. Like she don't want to rest. It was really a war at the beginning. Like not an argument because like when we don't argue, but she didn't want to take a day off. Like she didn't want to. I had to tell her go eat this. Like I had to tell her how many sushis she had to eat when I wanted to have. I wanted her to have like it's not even a refill. It's like a cheat meal. I had to tell her, like you have 24 sushis. Like you do it. You know?
Terence partner, yep.
Yeah, yeah. Terrence's wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was
when
when this guy, this I don't like to bring the negativity to the channel, but this idiot who was bringing about wellness that she shouldn't have won, I was laughing so hard. She was just better athletes on the stage, and yet he had to. People
the
love
the,
drama.
the thing is that guy, that I don't want to name it. If you know who it is, it's cool. If you don't know who it is, I don't want to promote him.
No.
Uh, he was in the audience. He doesn't like her for whatever reason. I have no idea. And the days of the week before the show, he was like bullying her on social media, like saying a lot of really like really negative things about her, which is fair. Like you can do it. But then if we win, I'm gonna run my mouth too. It's gonna be my turn. It's gonna be her turn too. Like we don't just gonna be like, oh, we win. Like let's just keep it quiet and be humble. No, no, no. You talk. We're gonna talk too. And that guy didn't understand the move, when they're comparing athletes on stage. He doesn't understand that. I don't know why. Then he said that he judged show. Obviously not. If he judged show, before, I know why he's not judging show anymore. Because if you don't understand what happened on stage, you can't be judged. You can't be a judge. It's not possible. So she was in sharing the middle with another girl who looked insane. I was really like, whoa, she might even take it because she looked really good. Like it was like she was like tall, tiny waist, like beautiful shape. And there was third and fourth on the side. Like, so it's a first call out of four girls. They compared them, like in confirmation round, they compared them, or like turn, blah, blah, blah. And then they moved the two in the middle outside and they put the two outside inside. Why? They're comparing the third and the fourth.
Exactly.
And that guy posted, it's between them. It's I would bet on her, blah blah blah. And he had Tiffany fourth. Like, how can you have the winner fourth? How can you be so wrong and then like proclaim yourself as an expert of this division, where you were actually in the audience watching the show?
I think
Like
it's a matter of just being. Perhaps she just dropped him somewhere some days when he was on the high school, something like this, and he's jealous
I,
now.
I honestly have no idea. I honestly have no idea. Like I, I would have understand like I would have understand if the second one. Then when I saw some pictures, like no, like Tiffany's still like a little bit ahead, like oh, like she's ahead. So, but I get this point of view. Like if someone tell me that, I was like, yeah, I get it. She looks really good, really good. I still have after seeing some really good high quality pictures, I was like, no, Tiffany still had it. But how can you have the first girl, like the girl who wins the show with a perfect score, placing fourth? How? And how can you post after prejudging if she comes tighter tonight? It's for her. Talking about another one. They don't judge finals. Like if you're a judge, you know that in a small show like this, everything is done at the prejudging. They don't judge finals. So I mean, everything was wrong on that day. Like I mean, on his side, like on us, it was perfect. We won, but on his side, it was really bad.
If anyone, slides really bad, then perhaps they will push him on the evening part of the show. But as you said, they on the first part they just know who won. When
Yeah,
you
it's done.
say about being lean when it comes to the off season, and what do you mean by starting the off season lean, and how lean do you want to keep your athletes during the off season?
Well, by experience, I saw that, especially in women, if they start the off-season lean, they can keep it lean and keep growing. Because if a woman lose control of her shape, she's gonna lose the insulin sensitive. It means that the more fat she's gonna get, the more fat she's gonna build and store. So it's gonna get worse, as like if the fat percentage increase, at some point it's getting out of control and it's really complicated. It's gonna take a lot of time dieting to get down on it. And the other problem you have is that you're gonna have a longer prep after that. If you get too fat, you're gonna have a longer prep to do. It means you might sacrifice a lot of muscle doing that. So is that a smart strategy to do?
So, but
Like,
how lean do you
and
want
then
to keep your athlete? As there are some barriers, there is too lean and too fat. What are the signs that it's the time to finish your off season?
I think that once you can't even like digest your food, you think that you're like bloated all the time, you're out of breath like a lot, like all the time. I think that you should like start at least cutting if you want to like keep going on your off season, or even switch to prep. Like it depends on the context and what you have to do. But I think that even for men, if you get too fat, how can you see if you're building muscle or fat? You don't see anything on your physique.
Right.
Okay, you're gonna take some measurements, like you can like check your arm size and like and legs and whatever. You can check that, but if you're building fat and water, your measurements are still gonna increase. So you still need to have some visibility on your physique, right? If you lose that visibility, how do you know what you're building?
How long would you consider the prep to last as the longest and as the shortest prep? Because we know that we can, if the athlete is really, really lean, we can do it within like 8 to 12 weeks. But as long as you would not recommend to prep for longer than?
The thing is, I had like if we're talking about how long you need to prep before you're ready on stage, I would say like 16 weeks is a good Like it start being comfortable and good if you start not being too fat. Then how long can you keep pushing, competing in your season? It's really up to how who prep you, obviously, because if you've been on some really, really like harsh things, you're gonna have a really short season. But if you look at Terence or Tiffany, who had the longest season last year, or even if you look at Chelsea, she had a really long season too. Uh, they were like Tiffany was on prep from January until November. Terence was on prep from June until like mid-November too. And Chelsea was on prep from like May until November, until the Olympia. They're all fine. All their blood works are perfect. They're ready to work. Everything is fine. So it really depends on how you're prepping, who is prepping you, and mentally, how can you handle it? Like there's still like a mental aspect in this
I
thing.
think there
You
are
can't
even
really.
journals. I think there are
Hmm?
even journals of you prepping Terence or on the Trained by JP, if I recall.
I used to post it. I stopped like a little bit because like I got really like too busy, obviously. And at some point I need to put some priorities. And yeah, like I posted a lot of his check-ins while we were in Dubai prepping for the Dubai Pro because he stayed with me here. So I was checking every morning, like at I want to tell you 7 a.m., but it was probably 7:30. Uh, and I was checking him 7:30 in the morning. Then at some point I was checking him in the afternoon, and I was posting the check-ins. I wasn't posting his diet. By the way, it was live check-ins. Like I didn't play that game of posting old check-ins to like scare people or something like that, like to hide a thing. I was posting the day check-in or the one before, like the day before. So it was like real live. Um, yeah, and I forgot what question I was answering. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that there were vlogs on the Trained by JP if someone wants to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what they were
yeah.
doing.
You can see some previous logs from previous prep. I just couldn't document like that one because I had like my season as a coach started quite late. Some coaches had athletes competing like earlier this year. The core of my season was more at the end of the year this year. Why? Because the athletes finished last year really late, so it pushed everything away, like later in the year. So I had a lot of athletes competing like this summer and until November, like a lot. I was like every weekend I had like two, three, up to the craziest weekend I had 13 athletes competing the same day. Yeah, that was insane. Like it was in Romania. Yeah, that was the Romania weekend. It was insane. I had everyone. Out of 11 athletes, I only had one who didn't make first call out. All the amateur won their class. None of them turned pro. That was bad luck. Yeah, and yeah, the pros, I think the only one didn't make first call out, if I remember.
Are you still taking clients?
I am taking clients. The only thing is that I'm working on inquiries. Like, some coaches you just like text them and because obviously I don't have 100 spot available. Uh, that would be a lie. I like to keep my coaching quality really high. I like to keep my life quality really high. I don't want to work like 20 hours a day. Because at some point I don't like it. And if I don't like it, I can't perform. Like I need to love it. And so I work on inquiries. So you inquire with me, we talk. Like some people want to interview me. Like I had one who was like, "Oh, hey, I'm interviewing coaches to see which one is going to be a good fit." And my answer was, "It's not me. You should go with the other coaches because I'm not doing any interview. Like I'm not inquiring for a job. Like you're inquiring with me, and if I want to work with you, then we can talk about it. But like that's how it is. So you send me an introduction, some pictures, your goals, and if I think that I can help you, then we're gonna talk a bit more. If I don't, I'm gonna tell you that I'm not interested, and I might even recommend you some other coaches. Like I still want to help you, but if I think that I'm not gonna be the right one to help you, I don't want to waste your time and mine.
So if anyone would like to contact you, how can they do it?
Instagram, just a DM. I don't have any website. I don't have any I don't have that.
So that's just simple. Just contact him, Hyacine Nassir, by Instagram. You can check the correct and exact name at the beginning of the episode. And if you enjoyed it, leave thumb up, leave subscribe, leave the comment, and Thank you for having your time, Hyacine. You answered loads of interesting questions, and I think it's gonna to open some people's eyes, and perhaps they're going to stop thinking more about cardio and diet towards to pushing the nasty stuff out there. Thank you for having your time, and see you soon. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me, and see you soon.